Hi friends, welcome to Kautilya. Today's our topics are nature of Indian economy and sectors of Indian economy. There are two important main concepts we are going to discuss. First one, the nature of Indian economy. You observe, so India is an underdeveloped economy. Then it is a developed economy. If you observe about India's economy with the nature of Indian economy, so we know that we got the independence in the 1947. So after the 2014 and 2015, if you observe, but still India is called as a developing country in the world. But there are different aspects are there. What are the things we have to be look after? So what's the nature of our economy? Because still is India is our developing country. First one, see why India is called as an underdeveloped economy. So based on these all the features, that Indian economy will call as a underdeveloped economy. What are that features? Excuse me. First one, agriculture. If you observe about agriculture, the maximum here 60 to 70% of the Indian population that depends on agriculture. The post-independence, even the pre-independence. Here agriculture sector means maximum of the population, Indian population that depends on agriculture sector, means 60 to 80% of the Indian population that depends on agriculture sector. Look at now, the most of this population when that depends on agriculture sector, so automatically only we are concentrated on only one area, that's about agriculture. So that's why when we go for this, India is called as a underdeveloped nations. If you observe about the developed country in the world, only the 2 to 5% of the population that depends on agriculture sector. That's about the first one. Next, if you observe the poverty, the percentage of India means growth, the poverty growth rate, the 20% is there. Suppose in 120 crores of the population, nearly 20% of the population, they are under the below poverty line. They are under the BPL, below poverty line. Here, whenever the more number of the population, they are in the below poverty line, so automatically we won't call it as a developing country, or we won't call it as developed country in the world. It is an underdeveloped nation. So underdeveloped economy, so because of this poverty, so we have to take care of the poverty. Next, growth of population. If you observe, when we got the independence, the population of India not more than 50 crores. Even when you observe about 2001 census, the population of India 1 or 2 crores. But by the time of 2011, the population census, we have 120 crores of population. Look at now here, the growth of the population rate is 2% per annum. The population is tremendously increasing the day by day. So according to when the population is increasing the day by day tremendously, then for that population, we are unable to provide the day-to-day commodities, accommodation, the housing, health, education, employment facility, and all other facilities we are unable to provide it. That's why whenever we have to control that the population growth. If we are not going to control the population growth, definitely India has become the most populous country in the world. At present, maybe we are in the second place. Definitely by 2000, if we are not control this population growth, by 2050, definitely will reach to first position in the world. So that's we have to take care about that. Again, based on the maximum number of the population depends on agriculture, the 20% and equal 20% is below poverty line. If the population growth rate as everything is increasing the day by day, then what will happen? Our standard of living will be go down. Look at now, with the more number of the population and growth is more and agriculture sector, the maximum people are depends on agriculture sector. What will happen? We know that the standard of living will be go down. We don't have at least basic facilities we are unable to provide it because of this one. The standard of living in India is very low. So when the standard of living is very low, according to the standard of living, so again we'll call as it is underdeveloped economy. Next one, production of techniques. We know that it's the technology world, or techno eras. In this techno eras, the production techniques still we are not following. In agriculture sector, if you observe, where still now we are forcing that the traditional techniques or traditional methods still now we are following. We are not following any the modern the techniques in production. So not only the agriculture sector, even in industrial sector also the new techniques and modern technology we are not using up to the mark for increase the production and productivity of the. So we have, that's why we have to increase the production and productivity of the nation for to reach the developing art for the developed country. So that's why we have the lack of production techniques in India. The next one, human development index. This is the major one. So under this human development index, generally UNDP, United Nations Development Program or report, they used to give that human development index to the each and every country. Here generally what are the things they used to be calculated? Per capita income, literacy percentage, then net attendance ratio, health facilities, education, housing, human development index. See, these are all the things they will be considered. With help of this consideration means income and other criteria. With help of the income and other criteria, UNDP they used to give the different index number. When we go for this different index number, out of 187, just we got our index rank is 135. 135 out of 187 countries in the world. So when given the ranking system is 187, our rank is the more than 100. Look now, the population is more than 100 crores. The same way the index number, when you go for human development index number, is a 135. So we whenever 135, which means the standard of living and their income and other criteria is not up to the mark. Whenever it is not up to the mark and we don't have the proper health, education, housing, say the infrastructure, transportation, communication, electricity, whenever we don't have this all the facilities, automatically our rank will be less. So we have to improve that. The human development index means we have to reach the developing or developed nation. That's about why it is called as the underdeveloped economy. Next one, income inequalities. Because in India, this is one of the most important problem. There are different have and have nots. The rich and poor. Here, when you observe about generally, the 10% of the richest people are there and remaining 90% are the poor. So when you observe about this one, income inequalities are more in India. Because here, mainly the income inequalities are more. See here, the rich people as day by day they become the rich, and the poor has become the day by day in the poor. So even like working condition, industrial sector and profit base and what are the things to be taken, income inequalities are more in India. So because of this income inequalities in India, automatically we can say that India is a underdeveloped economy. So we have to reach as a developed economy, we have to take care about this all the features in India. So based on this all the features, India is called as a underdeveloped economy. So this is about the first one. The next one, suppose India is a developing economy. See, we are given the present continuous tense we are given. If India is a developing economy, what are the features? According to which features we is called as a India as a developing economy. First one, rise in national income. If you observe about the national income when immediately after the independence to the now, then 15 times our national economy has increased. The national economy has increased. See, because of the rise in the national economy means it is continuously, it is increasing the day by day. From each and every annual year if you observe, or financial year if you observe, according to each and every financial year, our economy it is growing. So when it is a growing means when it is a continuously is moving means here the sustainable development and the development will be taken place. When there is a growth, this growth, and whenever the 15 times when it is increases our national economy, automatically you can say that it is a developing economy. The next one, rise in per capita income. See, this is also one more important criteria when we are comparing to the different nations. So per capita income, or is called as the average income. Here generally the national income they divided by the number of populations. See what is the per capita income of each and every person. Even per capita income of our country also, after the different development programs and everything, here it is increased more than 4 times. The per capita income of our nation, it is increased the more than the 4 times. This is about the national income and per capita income. Next one, improvement in occupational structure. So there is an improvement in occupational structure. If you observe about the Indian occupational structure, there are 3 important occupational structure. Means here, agriculture sector, industrial sector, and service sector. If you observe the agriculture sector is the primary sector, industrial sector is the secondary sector, service sector also is known as tertiary sector. Here improvement in occupational structure. Previously the population of India, maximum population of India, that depends on only in agriculture and agricultural based activities. At least the present and nowadays we used to look after the secondary industrial sector and service sector. So there is an improvement in occupational structure. The people, those who are not present in the current situation, instead of looking into the only one agriculture sector, they are moving towards the industrial and service sectors. So the different sectors they are looking after. That's why there is an improvement in occupational structure. Whenever there is an improvement in occupational structure, that is also indication of developing economy. So by suppose for example maximum population that depends on only in a agriculture sector, what is happening in India, underemployment and disguised unemployment is more. Means disguised so underemployment, unemployment and disguised unemployment is more. Whenever this one is there, automatically there is a what is the working population is very more. But even though it's working population, looking after the working population is more, but those who are actually working is a very less. That's the underemployment and disguised unemployment is more in Indian agriculture sector. That's it. With now instead of that one, there is a change in occupational structure. Means the people are moving to the other sectors here. Here improvement in change sectoral distribution of domestic product. What is the one more thing? Here the maximum number of the population in India, they are moving from agriculture sector to industrial and tertiary sector. Means the population, those are depending on agriculture sector, instead of completely depends on agriculture sector, the population nowadays at least they are changing into agriculture sector to industrial sector and service sector. Means here from the rural area occupational structure to urban occupational structure the people are moving. Whenever they are moving that, automatically they will be enlightened and we can control that underemployment and disguised unemployment. So this is about one of the important features. That's why we can call it say India is a developing economy, we can say. Then growing capital base. If you observe the growing capital base here, so whenever the population that depends on agriculture instead of depends on the complete in agriculture sector, nowadays we are moving to the capital base. So means development of the industries, development of the investment, and we are starting for the different technology, the utilization of the different area. So instead of only in the one sector, we started the capital base in other area. So whenever this capital base in the different areas when we have, this also shows that the developing economy. The next one, improvement in social and overhead capital. Here the social and overhead capital. Whenever the population they started the developing in the different sectors, yes, social status also to be increasing. Whenever the social status is increasing and the standard of living it's in the improvement condition, when the social status is in the improvised condition, what has happened? Then automatically their savings will be developed. Once the saving has developed, our savings are increases. With help of that saving, we can increase the investment. Once if we increase the investment, we can go for the capital money will be grow up. So that is about so this. Next one, development in banking and financial sector. So according to the different 5 years plans in India, mainly according to these 5 years plans, here 1950 we started the planning commission, 1951 the first 5 years plan we have started. So up to now there are 11 5 years plans successfully be completed. With the help of these 5 years plans, what's happened? We are given importance to the different industries, banking and financial sector. Suppose whenever we given importance to the banking sector, when the banks are established, see for the different sector people, mainly in the agriculture industries and service sector people, at least they can provide the loan facility, they'll get the loan facility and they can surplus of money, the deposit facilities they'll be available. So the help of this one, the financial sector will be this one. Whenever the financial sector easily movable of the capital, once the movable of the capital, automatically all the sector they move towards the development stage. So because of this all the features, India is called as a developing economy. So this is about how economy will have. Then India is a developed economy having features of the mixed economy. Now, so up to now we have discussed about how India is, what are the features of India as a underdeveloped economy and developing economy. Now we'll go for India is a developed economy having features of mixed economy. What are the features we have the developed economy? First one, private ownership of means of production. In India, what are the main things we have started at present? Maximum number of the production units, instead of under the control of the government sector, we are given to the private sector. Means private ownership of means of production, means all the means of production in industries and agriculture and the different area, when you are given as a private ownership, automatically they try for the production and productivity and profit maximization and their quality and quantity and the competition and everything will be upgraded. So when everything is upgraded, automatically good production, the productivity, the standard of living, incomes, the finance, transportation they develop, everything will be go for the in developed stage. That's why the private ownership of means of transportation is very important for the developed nation. The next one, the rise of market mechanisms. If you observe, for development of industry, country or everything, the markets are the most important. So availability of the market, in the availability of the market in the sense, here the easily mainly all the raw materials also available in the future. Then after the production is completed, then market facilities is required. Then the market facilities also easy to for the buyers and the sellers. Then all the information is required. Then adjacent of this market area, all the good transport facilities is required to the market facility. Means of transportation and everything also will be connected to the market facility. See, whenever we have this role of market mechanism in India at present, see this one also shows that India has a developed features. Thus, if you go for the markets at present, it's one of the important features in India as a developed nation. Next one, economic planning. If you observe, the 5 years plans are the most important one in India. 5 years plans of India and planning commission, 5 years plans, and based on this all the plans what we used to give. See, each and every financial the 5 years plan, if you observe, first 5 years plan they given the importance to the agriculture sector, second one is given to the industrial sector, third one also is given the industrial sector and the service sector, then fourth and fifth means annual 5 years plan has come after the 3, then remaining 5 years plan, development of economic growth, then control of the population, provide the employment facility, development of the technology and the standard of living, the increasing of that different human developments, agriculture, education, health, transportation, electricity, this all improvement of this all the thing, and to control the poverty in India. So this all with the help of this 5 years plan and planning of India, this all the things we are improved. So because of this 5 years plan and the government plans and everything, we are improved the standard of living of the people and we are planning to reach to the developed nation. The next one, public sector coexisting with the private sector. Suppose instead of only one sector in the public sector, what has happened over there, and automatically the negligency will be done and working conditions also will be go there, and production and productivity is reducing. Instead of that one, if you are working along with the coordination with the private sector, the production and productivity and accountability will be increases. So once the accountability will be increases and production and productivity will be the high, automatically we are reached to this developed condition. That's why with help of this public sector and private sector, the mixed economic condition we are improving at present. Mixed economic conditions. So whenever the mixed economic conditions are the private sector and public sector, they go both in side by side. So when the both in the side by side, the competition also will be rises among the both the private sector and the public sector, and here in the public sector also, the more accountability will be increases automatically. So these are what are the features of the developed features economy. These are the three things we are discussed now. What is underdeveloped features, developing features, and developed features. These are the so far we are discussed nature of economy. Now we'll move to the next topic, that is the role of different sectors in India. Role of different sectors in India. Before we are going to discuss the role of the different sectors in India, first one, sectors of Indian economy, we have to go brief. Sectors of Indian economy. Similarly, there are three sectors of Indian economy we have. First one is a primary sector. Second one, secondary sector. And third, service sector. Here, what is a primary sector generally? What are the things we have produced with help of natural resources or by exploiting the natural resources? These all things will come under the primary sector activities. Under this primary sector activities, agriculture is the most important one. That's why this primary sector also is known as agriculture sector. Here the mining, quarrying, dairy farming, animal husbandry, and this all the things will come under the primary sector. Since secondary sector, whenever the natural products are some other, what are the things we have produced in primary sector are natural product converting into some other shape with help of the machineries. And this is the secondary sector, also known as industrial sector. Industrial sector. The third one, it is not related to the production. It is provide the services to primary and secondary sector. Here transportation, communication, finance, banking, internet, computers, and all these services will come under the service sector or tertiary sector. These are the three sectors of Indian economy. Because these are the occupational structures of Indian economy is the most important one. So this is about how we can go for, there are different occupational structures we have. Here under this one, what is the role of agriculture? That is the first one, the primary sector one. What is the role of agriculture? The role of industries and service sector. So these are the mainly three agriculture sectors of Indian economy we are going to discuss. This is the occupational structures of Indian economy. We'll go details of this one. First one, what is the role of agriculture or the primary sector? First one, if we observe about the share in national income of the agriculture, this is the 40 to 50% of the share in agriculture sector. So agriculture sector share in our national income is the more than in the secondary and tertiary sector. If you observe about this, it is contribution of agriculture sector to our national income is a very more unique the contribution. If you observe about the developed country like UK, USA, Germany, Canada and all, so the share of the national income is only 2 to 5%. But in India, the 40 to the 50% of the national income we are getting from the agriculture sector. So that's about our the share in agriculture sector. The next one, share in employment facility. In India, if you observe, the 60 to 70% of the Indian population that depends on agriculture sector, which is providing the employment facilities to the people. The more number of the people are depends on this one, and it's provide the employment facility. That's a share in employment facility. The maximum number of the population in India that depends on agriculture sector. The next one, the basis for industrial development. The based on agriculture, we develop agro-based industries. If you observe about the agro-based industries mainly that depends on for the raw material on agriculture sector, it's called agro-based industry. In India, there are so many number of industries that depends on agriculture. Take the examples: cotton industry, jute industry, sugar industries, sugar mills, textile industry, maximum textile industry except the synthetic. So these are all the things that depends on their agriculture for their raw materials. Look at now, agriculture sector is providing the raw material for this all the industries. So that's why the basis for industrial development, here industrial development also depends on agriculture. Next one, importance in foreign trade. From India also as earning that very lot of foreign exchange or foreign currency from the importance of foreign trade. Why it is importance of the foreign trade here? Here, agriculture production we used to export to the different countries in the world. Mainly the spices, the cotton, jute, coffee, tea, tobacco, and this all the product. There is a lot of demand in the different parts of the world. Whenever there is a lot of demand to the different parts of the world, and we used to export to the different parts of the world. When we used to export here, the foreign trade also in a good condition, and foreign exchange means foreign currency also we used to get it with help of the agriculture sector. Next, importance of household consumption. Here, the maximum number of the household consumptions we are getting from agriculture sector. See, when it's mainly what is the day-to-day food, for the food and everything, the consumption from where we used to get the day-to-day commodities, what are the food products and everything we are getting from the agriculture sector. Then if you go for the general, normally also we are depends on the agriculture sector. That's the maximum number of the population household consumptions we are getting from the agriculture sectors. Next one, significance of trade and services. So because of this agriculture sectors, what has happened? The trade also is developed because we used to export the goods to the different parts of India and the different parts of the world, and we have to move from one place to another places. We have to send it, and we have to immediately after the harvest we have to provide the storage facility. For this all the thing, what has happened? The trade and services. Services mean communications, storing, transportation, and this all other services also with transportation services. This all the services is developed because of the agriculture. Again, because of the agriculture here, the trade also is developing among the different the sectors. So this is all about what is the role of agriculture in Indian economy. Then what is the growth of agriculture during planning period? If you observe the right from our agriculture, the right from our independence, 5 years plans we have started. First 5 years plan, if you observe 1951 to 1956, here the first 5-year plan they given most important to the development of agriculture sector in India. Under that, when we are given most important to the agriculture sector, we have started increasing the production and productivity. Production and productivity increases. So that also will be there. Then near 1966, 1965 and 66, in this area we started green revolution. When we started about this green revolution, Green revolution is mainly given HYV seeds, high yielding variety of seeds. Because of these seeds, agriculture production and productivity were increased in India. Excuse me. So agriculture production and productivity increases tremendously. So that's about how we can high yielding varieties of seeds and rise in production and productivity. Next one, diversified agriculture. We have started about the diversified agriculture means we are not only started in India. So only the agriculture sector means the food products we have, instead of food products, here commercial crops also we have developed. Multiple cropping system we have started, the double cropping system we have started, and different the industrial crop means mainly commercial crops and everything we have started. The raw material for this different industries we have started. Thus we have diversified the agriculture sector in India. Next one, modern agriculture we have started. In the modern agriculture sectors mainly H5V seeds, different pesticides, fertilizers, tractors, proclaimers, mainly then harvesters. So the modern tools and techniques we are using, modern methods we are using, mainly in the irrigation system, we started the drip irrigation system is one of the most important modern techniques we are using. So the drip irrigation system and all. So these are all the things. Next one, improved agrarian systems. The systems what we are using, the different system we are started. Under this system, what is the mainly abolition of intermediaries. Mainly if you observe about in the olden days, see there is a Jamindari system, Mahalwari system and Raitwari system. Here, so these are the people, they are the mediators between the farmers and the government. They used to collect the taxes from the farmers and some amount they used to pay to the government. This is the middleman system. After the immediately independence, we are abolished this Raitwari system, Mahalwari system and Jamindari system. Here when we abolition this all the system, the taxes we can pay directly to the government at present, to the tax collector. Then tenancy reforms. This is the one of the important here, the fixation of the rent. So if 30 to 40% of the rent, we have fixation also started. Those who started as a tenants in India, they started when they started the tenant system, the rules and regulations also they form. The first one, they fixes the what is the rent you have to pay after the cultivation. Next one, security of the tenants. Yes, see you are the once you have started the tenant system and all, they provide the security to the tenants here. So that's some of the rules and regulations also they laid down. So mainly the rules and regulations, this is what is the period of time you have to take it as a tenant, then what is the development condition, then what are the facilities the government also shall provide it, what the owner we have to provide the facility. This are that security tenants also say started. Then right of ownership. Under the right of ownership also they given here. Under the right of ownership what they given here, the tenants has become the real owners according to some of the plants, and the owners as for the real owner here the tenants has paid some of the compensative income or compensative money. Here the tenants has become the real owner, and for original owner the tenants used to pay some compensative the money. So these are the main important improved agriculture system, agrarian systems has developed. Then recognition of agriculture. Under the recognition, not only the recognition, they have started about the reorganization of agriculture sector. So under the reorganization of the agriculture sector, so mainly instead of going for this the tenant system, also they improvise, they reorganize the tenant system, the market system they reorganizes. Then they have the mainly the seeds is to provide the good and productive seeds also they provide the organization, and different using of the technology, and they provide the tools and techniques, marketing system, banking system. This all the things reorganized for the development of the agriculture sector. So with the help of this one here, the growth of agriculture sector during planning period. Next one, in this agriculture sector, what are the various problems facing the agriculture sector in India? Even though their planning sector is growth is there, but there are some problems. What are the problems they're facing? First one, slow and uneven growth. When you have the maximum number of the population, when we are using that very household methods from the different brand and the same pattern when they're using from past so many years, what has happened? Agriculture production and productivity has become very slow and uneven growth. So growth is, we are not getting up to the mark. There is no tremendous growth, but very slow growth has started. This is also one of the important, because of the traditional tools what we are using and because of the family system what we have at present. The next one, not so modern agriculture. Again, in India, we are not started very modern agriculture because the holding of land for the agriculture sector is very small. Whenever they have the small land holding, because of the small land holding, they are unable to provide that the modern tools and technique like tractors, harvesters and everything is not possible for the small land holdings. There's a very small land holding. Because of the small holding, it's not so modern agriculture in India. Then slow progress of land reforms. Because of illiteracy in agriculture sector, and here very slow progress of the land reforms in India. Under that first one, the lack of political will. So the people are agriculture, those who depends on the agriculture sector, our population of India, what are the reforms the government is bringing in agriculture sector, we are not aware. Whenever we are not aware, we are not getting complete benefit from the schemes what are the government has started, what are the reforms the government is bringing, we are unable to get the benefit from that. Means there is a lack of awareness and lack of political will. The next one, flow in legislation and personal cultivations. There is some of the faults in the legislation. Means whenever the government has started the program, when the government has started the program, whether it is fulfilling or not, we are not unable to unavail. That one more thing, when the owners, if you observe about the tenants and everything, maximum on the paper, the land may be under the control of the tenants, but who are the real cultivators? Then maximum number of the population in India, they used to cultivate the land only for the personal cultivation, what they require for their home, what they require for their house, that is only they used to be cultivated, they used to get concentrate, they are not giving the concentration to some other one. The next one, transfer of land. We know that according to the Indian condition, ceiling reforms are there. According to ceiling reforms, the landlords, they should not hold the maximum number of the acres of the land under the control of them. Here they should be distributed to that those who are people, those who don't have the agricultural land. So here the distribution is not going on in proper way. Next one, inadequate proof of tenants. Suppose once they started as a tenant system, they don't have the proper proof or agreement how many years you are taking as a tenant. Then suppose this many years if you are taken as a tenant and if you are cultivating the land as a tenant, then you will become the real owner, then afterwards you have to pay the compensative money to the original owner over there. So that's why inadequate proof of tenants. We don't have the this many number of tenants are there in India and all. We don't have the proper proof. Then problem of voluntary surrenders. Suppose here the landlord, those who have the more acres of the land under control of them, they are not voluntarily the surrendering to the government. And inadequate of ceiling laws. That's what I was telling. Suppose if is only this many acres of the land is required, should be under the control of the one person, what they used to do generally, say some land under the control of the father, some land and mother and the wife and spouse and children, daughter, and this all the relatives. So the land is distributed among the relatives. They're not following the proper ceiling laws in India. So these are the problems in agriculture sector what we used to face it. This next, what are the problems relating to finance in agriculture sector? So main important thing, long term, medium and short term loan facilities are the problem. Generally the long term loan, if you are taken as a long term credit or the loan facility, it should be for purchasing of the land and for industries, for the tractor, for pipeline or the borewell, and this all the things as required. So this is the loan. When the long term loan, the government should be provided. But when the government should provide, the government should be provided, sometimes they are unable to get this, the long term loan facilities. Then medium term loan facilities, which they can able to fulfill within the 3 to the 5 years. Then short term facility, short term credit facility, so purchasing of the mainly the fertilizers, pesticides, the seeds, and regular day to day. But this also, the credit facility is also the problem they are facing. To overcome this, the problem relating to the finance, the government has started different schemes and programs only for the agriculture, the farmer. So mainly regional rural banks they started. RRBs has started. They are 1975. The rural banks have started in India. According to this rural bank, here Indian agriculture farmers, they are able to get the different types of the loan facilities, long run, long term, medium term, and the short term loan facility. They used to get it very easily, and they provide the awareness program how we can get the loan facilities from the different banks. That in the local areas itself they'll get it. Then what are the facilities we'll get? So apart, this is about the RRBs has started. Apart from the RRBs, they started the NABARD in the year 1982. So the National Agriculture Board, when they started about this NABARD in the year 1982, so the mentioned initial one, they started with a 500 crores of money. Under the 500 crores of the money, the 50% of the money provided by the RBI, and remaining 50% is given by the government of India. With help of this one, so the national agriculture development of the agriculture sector completely, the NABARD full-fledged is working. That to look after the properly, generally here the director of this NABARD, generally is a deputy, the governor of RBI. So deputy governor of RBI generally is work as a mainly the director of this NABARD. With help of this NABARD, they used to get the different loan facility for development of agriculture in India and the rural bank. Then cooperative, apart from this one, the cooperative banks also they started in India, like a different district cooperative banks, and that are through this cooperative banks also the agriculture sector, the people they used to get the loan facilities. This is the problem relating to problem. Next one, problems relating to warehousing and marketing. Then how it is the first one, inadequate warehousing. Suppose immediately after harvest, if you desire to sell it into the market, what will happen? Automatically the cost of that prices will be very less. If you sell it for that cost, automatically they will be in the bankrupt or they will be in the loss. So what is required there? They require some warehouses for the store. But in India, we don't have the proper warehouses. Even though there are warehouses, there are different problems, technical problems are there, and there is adequate, the facilities also they are not provided. The next one, in market areas, what is the mainly, there is a middleman problem also there. If you observe the between agriculture farmer and the consumer, or when you go for the market person, there are so many the middle persons. The middle person, they'll get the more commission from the producer and from the consumer or from the market people. So because of this one here, who is used to get the more benefit? The middleman used to get the more profit than those are really producing and those are really supplying to the market. So here there is a problem of the middleman in India. Next one, malpractices in unregulated markets. What are the malpractices in one? So they are not giving the proper information to the agriculture farmers. What are that areas is going? Then middleman problem also is going on. Then action areas, when they used to do the malpractice, they'll cheat that agriculture farmer, because the maximum agriculture farmers are illiterates in India. That also means there are some of the malpractices are going on in the market section. Next one, improper measuring for weights. Once if you go to the market areas, the agriculture farmer, after that the working after the so many months, if they started the production is taken to the market condition, what has happened? They don't have the proper weights and measures. Suppose the scaling system, what are the scaling system is there in the market system? How many of the Indian farmers they are aware about this completely the scaling system? The weights and measures, that improper way of the weights and measures we have in market system. Next one, lack of adequate finance. Suppose once if you store in the market, suppose once MRP, when the market price of the market conditions is very low, so when they are unable to get, but if you are unable to sell it in is production, then how we can go for the next cultivation? See here, lack of finance, but nobody is there to help that farmer after this cultivation and to start the next cultivation. So that's why you have the lack of adequate finance system. Next one, inadequate means of transport and communication facilities. So maximum for agriculture field too, where is a warehouses and storage facilities area, we don't have the proper transport facilities. Even to move from agriculture production areas from the field to market or from the field to the storage areas, we don't have the proper transport facility. Whenever we don't have the proper transport facility, automatically in time we can't move the goods from one place to another places. Next one, communication facilities also we don't have. Say we have inadequate communication facilities. Here agriculture farmer, they're not aware where there is a warehouses, so where is the cold storage homes, where the seeds are available, and where the fertilizers and pesticide, when about the government schemes, about the market of the prices, and this all the thing is unable to know the information. When they don't have the proper communication facility, automatically is cheated by the market. So these are the problems relating to warehouse and market in India. Next one, the role of industry of India. So up to now we have discussed about primary sector, agriculture sector. Now we are moving to the secondary sector. What is the role of industry of India? What are the problems and what are the other things we will discuss now. First one, role of industry of India. First one, so meeting ever increasing demand. Suppose with help of the industrial sector, what has happened? What is that? The ever increasing demand, because we know that population the day by day is increasing. For this increasing population, we require the lot of production we have to start. So for this production, only with agriculture sector it is not possible. With the support of industrial sector, we are reaching that ever increasing demand also will be increases. That's the first one. Then rising the population's income. The people's income is to be increased with help of this industrial sector. Means industrial sector, nowadays what has happened, the people are converting or they are migrating from agriculture sector to industrial sector. So those who are working in agriculture sector and industrial sector, they will get the permanent employment facilities and regular income. With help of that, the people income also increases. Next one, high potential for growth. An industrial sector, with continuous production throughout the year, the production will be there. When throughout the production and productivity, with help of this production and productivity, the potential for growth is a standard or it will be sustainable way. Next one, key to high volume of export. With help of the industries, the good quality of the production and productivity, whenever we have the production and productivity, we are used to be produce the surplus. Whenever we have used to surplus very high volume of the products, we used to export to the different parts of the world. With help of this one, automatically we will get the lot of the foreign currency. Next, leads to self-sustaining development. With help of the industries in India, what are that the products we require? So what are the production is required? We is to reach the self-sustainable development. Instead of depends on the different countries, what are the things we require to us? We is to be produced in our industrial sector or in our industries only. That's next one, promote the regional balance. So with help of the industries, we can develop the different region in India. Suppose what are the reason is backward in agriculture sector, there we can develop the industries. So with help of the industries, the regional development as we are increased in India. We have promoted the regional development, mainly the north, south, east, west and the regions in India. Next one, provide the employment facilities. Compare with the agriculture sector, it's provide the employment facilities more. For example, if you started as a small scale industry, with help of the small scale industry, directly we can provide the employment facilities to the 5 members. Indirectly we can provide the employment facilities to the 10 members. Instead of this one, if we started a large scale industry, with help of a large scale industry, automatically we can provide the employment facilities to thousands of people. How we can see directly when they started a large scale industry, directly we can provide employment facilities to more 10,000 members. For the 10,000, we require the transportation, housing, the shopping and communication. For that and all the thing, then we can provide the remaining facility. Indirectly, we can provide the employment facilities to more than thousands of people. That's why we can improve the employment facility with help of the industrial sector. Next one leads to modernization. Whenever the industries are developed, we go towards modernization, modern tools and techniques, modern weapons and modern machineries, and the modernization of the society and everything we can achieve with help of the industry. So we are achieving at present. Then help to modernize agriculture. So what are the tools and techniques required for the agriculture? We used to be produced in industries, and we are adding the modernization to the Indian agriculture. So these are mainly the important role of industry in India. Here, what is the pattern of industrial development since independence? From the independence, what are the industrial development programs we have started in India? First one, development of infrastructure. We know that for 5 years plans when you observe. First 5 years plan, we know that is given the importance to the agriculture sector. Second 5 years plan, it's given most important to development of industries. Under that, different iron and steel industries, mainly Vishaka iron and steel industry, Salem iron and steel industry, Bhadravati iron and steel industry. So there are different iron and steel industries as developed in India. Then not only the iron industries, there are different infrastructure facilities as we develop with help of the different 5 years plans in India. That's the one. The next one, research and development. So not only the development of industries, we started the research. The different research institutions we have started in industrial sector. See, industrial research institutions we have started. Then there are different research institutions like agriculture research institutions we have started. So rice research institution, tobacco research institution, sugarcane research institution, and there are different research institutions we started under the industries. So with the help of these industries, research and development, we are expansion of the public sector. See, public sector industries have started. So mainly we have started that ECIL, Hall, when we heard the BHEL, so Bell, then iron and steel industries. So there are different public sector industries we have developed in India. So these are the public sector industries, they provide the employment facilities to lakhs of people with help of these industries. The next one, building up of capital goods industries. Capital goods industries like automobile industries, iron and steel industries. Then what are the capital goods industries we have developed during the time of the different 5 years plans and the different areas, even the public sector and private sector. Then with help of this one, the non-essential consumer goods industries, growth of non-essential consumer goods industries also we started. So not only consumer, we started with the car industries, with automobile industries we have started, manufacturing goods industries we started, the tools and techniques industries we have started. See here, there are different growth of non-essential goods also we have started. Next one, diversification of private sector. So not only the government sector, even we have started about private sector also. The different industries we have started under the private sector. Once the private sector has started, competition will be started again, and the different production and productivities we have started. Then apart from this large scale industries, small scale sector also we have developed among the households and everybody. So this is about mainly the different industrial development program since independence. Then what are the problems of this industrial development in India? First one, say sectoral imbalance. Here there is an imbalance between agriculture sector, secondary sector, and whenever this imbalance of this one, suppose industries we start a number of, but what are the suppose the agro-based industries we develop. Suppose equally the agriculture sector, if it is not developed, they are unable to get the raw materials. When I are unable to get the raw material, it's a problem for this sector. Let's say here the sector imbalances. Next one, regional imbalances. Because of this industries, only some regions are well developed, then other regions are neglected. Here regional imbalances also from. Next one, industrial sickness. Well, industrial sickness we used to face in India mainly because of power cuts, lack of raw materials, lack of skilled labor, and the lack of the financial conditions. So industrial sickness also very more in India. Next one, growth of big industrial houses. Means here when you observe about the growth of big industrial houses in India, is tremendous. Only the few has developed, but is not developed all the areas according to our present the situations here. Then high cost of industrial products. Because of our conditions and everything, once if your production has started, production is completed, production, transportation, market facilities and all together, then automatically the cost of that industrial products are very high. If the cost of industrial products is very high, automatically there is no demand for the industrial products. This is also the problem. Next one, inadequate employment generation. Once we have started the industries, along with the industries we started improvised technology. So the technology and new missions. When the technology and the new missions was introduced, the more number of the people is not required for the employment. So that's why here inadequate employment generation is not be much increase what we are expected. Next one, the poor performance of the public sector. When are this? Just now we discussed about the ECL, ICL, the HAL, BHEL, and there are so many public sector industries. But it's all the public sector industries, the performance is not up to the mark. In production and productivity, the nature of employment and the working condition of the employment and the hard working of the people also, it will be go down. So that also be there. Next one, industrial depends on the government. So whenever the industries is developed, even private sector and the public sector, all the industries depends on government. If that depends on the government, they have to provide the subsidy schemes, they have to provide loan facilities, market facilities, the storage facilities, communication, the transportation, and everything is depends on agriculture, everything is depends on the government. Again, this is also the problem. Next one, say underutilization of the capacity. Suppose once we have started an industry, what is that? When we started that industry and employment also we have generated and good employment facilities also there, but if they don't have the proper raw material, but completely we can't use it. Suppose the new modernized technology, advanced technology we are used, but for that advanced technology we require that mainly the raw materials, we require the working conditions. If you are not there, if it is not there in it, that's why we have underutilization of the capacity. Next one, increasing capital output ratio. But according to the advanced technology, employment and the population, we are unable to provide that. Increasing the capital output, what is the output? Capital output, we are not increasing. So these are the problems of the industrial, the sector what we have. Next one, this is about industries we have discussed so far. So far we have completed agriculture sector and industrial sector. Now we have moved to the service sector or tertiary sector. What are the services provided to the agriculture and the secondary sector? Physical services. Here, banking, insurance, computers, internet, and this all the things will transportation, communication. This all things will come under this. All the services will come under. So under these services, major services here, the tourism service, energy service, transport services, educational services, and health and social services. These are the major services we have. But without these services also, we can't imagine our life. So but without the services, without transportation services, is it possible to run the agriculture sector or industrial sector? No. Even we can't imagine. So without communication facilities, is it possible for the success of agriculture or industry? It's not. So along with the production units of agriculture and industries, the service sector also is equally important. For this equally importance, what are the things are? Here the role of service sector in India. Your share in the GDP of the service sector is tremendously increasing. So it is increasing the day by day because more number of the population, the depending on this one, and production and units of this one, they provide the more service. So GDP share is increasing day by day. Employment generation also is nowadays. Suppose you can take the example of at present anybody. What do you want to become? I want to become the engineer, the doctor, the lawyer, or we can call it nowadays event manager. So look at, ask to any person at present the current situation, they want to be settled in service sector. Means it's providing the more employment generation in India. Means service sector, not only in India, in the different parts of the world nowadays. So there is a lot of scope for in service sector. Employment generation is more. Next, support to other sectors. Why it is the most important one? Here service sector, it's providing the good support to industrial and agriculture. In this, without support of the service sector, we can't imagine. That's why there's a lot of scope for the service sector at present. Then contribution to the export. Export contribution is more, mainly through transportation, through communication, and to provide the different areas. Even nowadays for this one, there are different one is coming, IT, information technology. Then BPOs, so business process for outsourcing. So this all the thing. Here this all the mainly important one, the export contribution is more. Next one, growth of service sector during the planning period. See in the 5 years plans, when we started the 5 years plan, we have started about the banking. Government has given importance to the banking. So it's giving the importance for the transportation. It's giving the importance for the communication facilities. So it is giving the importance for the different schemes that started. Government also started through the 5 years plans. So this is about the role of the government sector at present. Then with help of this one, what are there are some problems of service sector in India. First one, infrastructural problems. According to the need of primary and secondary sector, we have lack of infrastructural problems in India. There is a lack of infrastructure, but these infrastructure we have to be achieved. Next one, problems in tourism. If you observe about the problems in the tourism, what are the problems in the tourism? If you go, you can observe the tourist, whenever the tourist has visited a place, there inadequate information. Then middleman, there is a middleman, the malpractices of the middleman, because the high rate they used to collect it from them, and there is no proper maintenance of the tourist places and different historical monuments, the heritage monuments, and all the things. There is no proper maintenance, and there is no developmental, and there is no proper, at least the basic facilities is not the develop in the tourist places and the tourism areas. That is the thing. The next one, lack of support system. So in the service sector, when we want to develop the service sector, the support is required from the public, from the private sector, and from the government sector. This are the lack of support system there. The next one, poor quality of IT services, information technology. So look at now, advanced technology, India is one of the important one in the IT sector, but still there is a poor quality of information technology services. So these are the mainly the problems of service sectors in India. So these are the things is main for sectors of Indian economy. So these are the mainly things today what we discuss in the nature and the sectors of Indian economy. Under the sectors of Indian economy, about agriculture, industries and service sector, what is the role, the problems and how we can go for this one. This is about today's our topic. Thank you. Have a nice day.